So everyone, welcome back to another video. I know I haven't posted for about 4 months now, and it's been a while since I wanted to post something, but I wanted it to be unique and genuine and actually my opinion on things and how so many things have changed over the last 4 months that I have not posted actually. How 2026 started, how it feels, the clients we have right now, what I'm doing right now in terms of business, with who I'm doing it with, and generally the whole feeling behind running a business at this young age in 2026. Now, a lot of things have happened in a good way and not so many in a bad way, which is a very, very good thing. The things that happened in a good way are that we have some clients now. I got myself a new MacBook, as you can see right here. This is the best thing I ever bought in 2025. I bought it actually in December 2025, and it's been super productive ever since. And right now we're planning on doing the same and buying another MacBook for my brother that's working there right now. And yeah, it's a milestone, okay? It's the start of something even greater. Having a MacBook has actually helped me increase my productivity loads, and being able to just straight up open it, its own, everything you have is there. Because before, with my other computers, previous computers, I had to actually turn them off before I use them again, and it was not really productive. They were laggy. This is not laggy, to say the least. And it's super amazing and super productive. I love everything about it actually. Then I also wanted to talk about how I got this new client, and specifically one client that has helped me actually make the most amount of money I've ever made in a single month with my brother. We actually started this together. How it happened, it was they were looking for someone that knows how to deal with AI. I got on the team, and then they also wanted editing services, and they said, do you recommend anyone? And I recommended my brother. So we are like external partners with them. We're not their employees. So we have this our own business that focuses on AI automations that I'm creating for them, and also my brother focuses on the editing side of things. Now, it's been amazing to work alongside my brother. We have these small fights here and there, but because we have communication and at the end of the day, we have nothing to separate and we love each other, we make it work every single day. There have been days where we've made the most amount of money we've ever made in a single day, and it's been great. We're expected to do a good amount of four figures in this quarter actually, which are gonna say, okay, four figures in a quarter. I know, it's not like a huge amount of money, but it's actually the most of money I've ever made in a single month first, and in a quarter as well, especially uh, through my laptop or generally online. You know what I mean? So it's a very good start, and very good that 2026 started with a different vibe and energy to it. There's more attack on the business side of things. I'm always attacking the day, making sure I have all the tasks done, and I treat this way differently than I used to treat it before. I'm way more disciplined than I've ever been, and as I said, I'm just attacking the day in the right way and in the right sense. Actually, in the beginning of the year, I was doing something not completely different, but very different to what I'm doing right now as of March 23rd. Um, what I started the year with was creating this AI database that has more than 160 AI tools and solves more than 200 problems. So what this does is I go to businesses and I say, okay, let's see your workflows, let's see what's working and what's not, let's see what's manual, let's see what's repetitive and stuff like that. And then once I find out, I will go to this database, search for the exact problem, and make sure I find the best AI tools that are listed there and send them over to them. And obviously charging per consultation. Now, I actually started this year with this notepad, as you can see here, this Notion, basically. Starting an AI agency from scratch. Now, was it from scratch really? Yes, it was from scratch because I went back and said, okay, what is my direction and vision? Business operations, everything about it, the AI database, and other things I wanted to focus on. And then I went on to actually ask unlimited questions to myself and sitting there and answering them. So, for example, where is this leading? Or what is the main goal with this? Or how do you plan your year to look running this company and stuff like that? And I actually want to jump on Miro right now, and I want to show you how I plan my year this 2026. I'm not gonna show you detailed because actually something that I understood that's very important is to keep my goals private, and keeping them private is all I'm trying to do. But here, as you can see, is how I plan, how basically I plan the year, basically, sorry. So here are my major goals. Here's a breakdown of the year. Here is top information about sales, my outreach, and how it works. And then here's my business funnel. Now, you're just gonna say, okay, you are 5 weeks into the year and you've only completed these, the others are blank and empty. The thing is, because things changed so much, I still use these and these, but not really much this, because this was a more detailed plan of how I'm going to act in the year and what I'm gonna do in this year. So, because the way I run my business changed and what I'm selling also changed, not heavily, but it did, then these don't really, don't really reflect reality. So I'm not using them. But everything else, like the one here, and the business funnel, I obviously do use them. They're obviously very, very helpful. Now, something else I understood about 2026 is that it's all about knowledge, emotional control, and then these both lead to discipline. Being able to control your emotions and being able to understand that you don't know everything and you need to learn more at all times, but also taking action, obviously, not just wanting to learn more all the time. Both of them link to being more disciplined. You cannot be more disciplined if your emotions overrun you, or if you think about your past all the time or your future. You have to live in the present moment and be emotionally controlled, or having emotional control, and then obviously leading to being disciplined in the present moment and with what you're doing. So let me show you a bit of the operations that are happening in the room right now. As you remember, I was alone, actually working here, but now I have my brother, a full-time employee here, actually editing a video for a client. And then this board has been life-changing. Write my stuff here and basically the goals we want to achieve. It's been amazing because it just gave me the opportunity to sit and think more, but also plan with my brother on stuff we want to achieve in the quarter and also in the month. Something else I want to talk about, and I'm not going to make this very boring or very tiring, is that learning to actually put myself in a room, lock the door, leave my phone away, and making sure I do the work that I'm supposed to do is the best thing I've ever done in my entire life. It taught me discipline, but also that things like Instagram, YouTube, and generally like scrolling and wasting time does not really matter, especially if you have a huge vision. And how I found out was when I had to study for an exam. I had my MacBook with me, locked in a different room. I had my phone with me, locked in another room. It was only me, my books, and nothing else. And I said to myself, you're either going to study, you're either going to do push-ups, or just sit there and think or do whatever. But, you have to either study, do push-ups, or think, nothing else. That created a chain reaction of boredom. You are bored with studying, but then you're bored with doing push-ups, and then you're bored with just thinking. So you go back to studying, and then it's a cycle that repeats itself. Now, at the end of the 5 days I sat down locked in my room studying, I found out something super important, that I basically resetted. Yeah, I basically did the reset on how I view dopamine, for example, knowledge, and generally boredom. What I mean by that is that by the end of these 5 days, I wanted to sit and study. You know, it was way better than just sitting there and thinking and sitting there and doing unlimited push ups to my hands fall off. But, you know, I wanted to sit there and study. It was better, it was less boring, you learned more. And then I actually tried to put it in the future I'm trying to create because I was actually studying business. So super important if you want to do that, to actually lock yourself in a room. Not actually, of course I was going out to eat, toilet, etc., meet my family and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, the hours you were supposed to actually study, try to double them, or work or whatever, try to double them, and then leave everything that's distracting you away, and be honest with yourself. Sometimes I'm working and obviously my phone is in a different room, and you're gonna say, but you're working online, you may need your phone. That's what I thought in the beginning, and I was always caught up in the circle of using my phone. But now I have literally no interest into using it. It's nothing important. I can find everything on my computer. So you don't really need that in your room when you're working as well. There are times that I leave my phone in the room, and I just don't even want to touch it. You know, it doesn't affect me in any way or shape or form anymore. But it's important to do that to yourself. Give yourself the space to actually be bored and learn how to be bored, because that's what's gonna help you be motivated. But even when you're not motivated, you're just going to do the work you're supposed to do because you've created discipline, paired with being emotionally, you know, aware. Like, understand your emotions and be able to control them. Be able to understand when your mind is flying away, or when you're addicted to something, like scrolling, for example, for someone could be. But also understanding how things affect you emotionally and what doesn't, what drains you and what gives you energy. It's important to understand, and it's important to learn these things as well. Um, so this is the end of this video. This is where I've been, and basically this is what I'm doing the past few months, actually, 4 months actually. I set some goals in the beginning of the year. I'm looking forward to achieving them. Some of them have to do with this YouTube channel as well. I know I haven't been posting, but for some reason, today the time felt right. And I'm actually a bit sick. You might be able to tell from the way I speak, but I was about to sleep in the afternoon because I was super, I had some fever and stuff like that. And I couldn't. And I was like, I have to document it. I have to document this journey. And for some reason, the time felt right to stand up and document. And I think I'm gonna be doing that from now on. The goal I set myself, the monetary goal I set myself for this quarter, is already achieved, and it's actually even doubled. I didn't expect this all to come together so fast. But as I said, but as I wanted to say, I plan to say, when you start becoming disciplined, knowing what you want to do, and attacking the day every single day. Okay, there are a few exceptions, like everyone makes, like trips with family or whatever. The puzzles and the puzzle pieces are basically going to fall in place like playing Tetris, you know what I mean? The same with getting experience with as many things as possible. I started with Shopify back in 2022. Then I did marketing. Then I did some YouTube for myself and editing and stuff like that. And then AI. The client that's paying me the most right now, and the client I've mentioned before, wanted me for AI, for marketing, and for editing. So things I didn't think, were important, and that's why I stopped them and left them into something else, actually have become the reason why these puzzle pieces and these Tetris pieces, if you want to call them that, fall into place so well, and I'm able to start something and get it off the ground, and achieving my goals. So basically, what I want to say, I'm looking away all the time. I just noticed. The thing is, the thing I want to say to all of the young entrepreneurs that actually try to make it this year, or not make it in terms of being the most successful millionaires ever and what they dream of, because there are steps to it. Uh, but to all the entrepreneurs that wanna go big this year and they feel that 2026 has a complete different energy around it, because this is what I feel. What I'm gonna say is let yourself be bored and make sure you always want to do the best in the present moment. Like what happens today, I failed the first half of my day. Okay, I'm gonna make the best of the next half. For example, today I was sick. The half of my day and more, I was just watching some movies. I was just scrolling on my phone. But I said, I am going to make the best of what's left. And I do that to the days that, maybe I was in school and then I wasted time with something else. And I was like, okay, half of my day is wasted now. How can I make the other half of my day the most productive it can be? And that's how I work, and that's how I think you should work as well in order to start getting the first steps. Now, I don't know how to get you to 10K per month, or I don't know how to take you to 100K per month, but that's what we're gonna figure out together in this channel anyways. So yeah, something I want to talk in the next video as well is the movies I've watched recently that have really shifted and shaped my mindset into attacking the day and how business is technically war, which is an interesting topic to talk about in the next video. But yeah, I want to talk to you about that in the future. And as always, thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one.